Hey guys, welcome to FreckleFace Finance, where we discuss personal finances open and honestly so that you can live the life that you deserve. So today's topic of discussion is salary transparency. And I was recently talking about this with my cousin and she had no idea. She never heard of salary transparency. And so I thought, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and bring it to YouTube and see what you guys think. So if you're interested in salary transparency and what that can mean for your career, just keep on watching. So first of all, what is salary transparency? And so salary transparency can be seen in two different ways. One way is that a company will advertise a salary range for each position that is open. So for example, if you go on Indeed and you see a job that you're interested in, then if that company is participating in salary transparency, then you should see a range typical of what that job duty and title entails. So you should see a salary range of what you can be expected to be paid if you accept that position. The second way that salary transparency has been adopted is I have seen companies actually publish, anonymously of course, like they're not listing the actual employee names, but they're listing what each employee makes at their company. And so that is, in my opinion, full transparency. So you can very well see what each employee is being paid and how you compare it to the others that are working the same job as you. So honestly speaking, have you guys seen Salary Transparency Street? I think they have a page on TikTok if I'm not mistaken. I know I've definitely seen them on Instagram Reels. But pretty much Salary Transparency Street, I'll leave the link down below so you guys can check it out. I think it's awesome. But anyways, they pretty much go out and they interview random people on the street and they ask them what their job title is, how they got into that career field, and then how much money they make. And so I definitely think that this initiative has made companies more aware of the salary transparency and just being more willing to adopt that into their own culture in the companies. So I definitely think that they have paved the way on closing gender gaps, closing race gaps when it comes to salary and making it more transparent for the community. So a little disclosure, I have binged almost all of their videos. Like, I really like the reels, like they're not super long, and I've also seen that other people have started similar channels where they also adopt going out to talk to random strangers and getting them to state what their career choice is, how they got into that career field, and how much salary or how much money they make doing that particular job. And it kind of got me to thinking, like, I've already known that there is a huge wage gap when it comes to different races, different genders. And so I looked it up to see in present time, what is that current salary gap? And it's big, it's big. So I actually looked it up. And so according to Times, white women make 79% of what white men make. Black women make 63% of what white men make. Native American women make 57% of what white men make, with Hispanic women coming in at 54% of what white men make. And this is for the same job. So as you can imagine, having that huge wage gap just really changes the whole trajectory of how much you're able to save, what type of assets you're able to build in your portfolio, and then furthermore, what generational wealth you are able to pass on to your offspring or to your children. And so as you can imagine, having that huge wage gap definitely impacts your whole trajectory when it comes to being able to be financially secure. And then unfortunately, it can definitely impact you being able to obtain generational wealth so that you can pass on to your children and kind of keep that cycle going. And so I definitely think that Salary Transparency Street is doing a great job in being able to get companies to kind of speak out and be more intentional to make sure that their workforce is paid fairly. So thinking about this, I cannot help but think about that reel that I saw, which I'm sure a lot of you guys saw as well, but I'll leave it down below so that you guys can see, you know, a frame of reference. But pretty much this woman was boasting about hiring a new employee and a position paid $130,000 and $150,000 or something like that. And the new employee, she was negotiating her salary and she requested a salary of $70K. Which is like damn near 50% less than what the position was actually paying. And she was boasting about it and saying that, you know, people should know, you know, going in how much a job is and they should negotiate for a fair price. And if you're gonna undersell yourself, then I'm gonna just go ahead and accept that. And I find that appalling, like very disgraceful. And so I'll leave that down in the comments or in the description so you guys can see that down below. But if you know what video I'm talking about, let me know what your thoughts were when you saw that video. I found it utterly disgusting because if the salary is paying $130 to $150K, then that means the work that they're expecting from you is going to be 130 to 150K work. And so if you're knowingly paying this employee 70K when you know that the job is 130 or 150K, then how can you like be okay with that? Because I feel like you're definitely not paying them what they're worth, and you're impacting their salary trajectory for the rest of their career. Like, I just find that disgusting. So anyways, I think that having salary transparency will definitely help our, junior workforce not undersell themselves in accordance with their skills and education. So I definitely think that it's a pro in that aspect. Hey guys, so let's go ahead and discuss what some of the pros are of having salary transparency. I think that we've kind of discussed it a little bit in this video, but I'm gonna go ahead and sum up what the pros of having salary transparency are. So one, having salary transparency will hopefully be able to close the wage gap when it comes to gender as well as race. Secondly, it will definitely ensure that people are not underpaid compared to their peers who have similar education, skills, and are doing similar job duties. Thirdly, I think that it will definitely help people have better career choices. I think that it will definitely help people be able to make better career choices based off of their own preferences. So salary transparency is adopted hopefully globally, but if not, at least in the United States, being able to identify what career choices, what those salary potentials actually are, and not just compared to Google that have outliers and the top 5% making so much money where the vast majority of people are making on the lower end. I think having that salary transparency with actual data will definitely make people be able to make better choices on, either investing in a particular career field or going to a particular college that degree might not pay off compared to what the salary potential is for that particular career using actual data. So I definitely think that it would help people make better decisions in picking their career choices, because there's definitely nothing worse than overpaying for a degree that your career field will never let you pay off. So I always find it very, very disappointing, unfortunately, when I see teachers on YouTube who overpay for their degrees, and they might spend 100K going to school and getting this private degree, and then their salary potential is 40 to 50K. So I think having a more realistic outlook and having salary transparency may make someone less likely to overpay for their degree compared to what their salary potential is in that specific career field. So I definitely think salary transparency would help in that aspect. So of course, I don't feel like I would be doing the topic justice if I did not look at the other side from the business owner standpoint on whether or not that they think salary transparency is a good thing for the economy versus a not so great thing. So here are a couple of cons that I saw that business owners were discussing when it comes to salary transparency and how it can actually hurt our economy. So one of the things that I saw that stood out when it comes to the cons of salary transparency is a lot of smaller companies were saying that they might not actually have the budget to compete with bigger companies to hire top talent. So for example, if Google is paying a particular job title and job duties 100K, a smaller business may not be able to afford a person with a 100K salary, and they're less likely to recruit that person if they see that they can make 100K going with another company. And I kind of feel like that is expected. Like, I think people go to top companies and bigger companies because they want top dollar, and I think that it is not a secret whether salary transparency is out there or not, or adopted widely or not, that smaller companies kind of have smaller budgets. So I don't really think that they're shocking anybody with that news. I think that that's kind of expected. So another con that I saw from business owners when they talked about salary transparency that I actually did not consider myself when I thought about salary transparency is that it would be a lot easier to recruit top talent from other companies. So pretty much if salaries are widely broadcasted or published, then other companies will be able to see typically what company A pays their employees, and then company B can offer those employees slightly higher salary in order to poach them from their current positions. So I think that that is a little sneaky, but definitely something that I did not consider when I thought about salary transparency. So yeah, I guess that I don't really see a way that we could prevent that. So that is going to be up to the business owners to make sure they're providing a happy, safe, and a work environment that employees can't be poached from. So yeah, I can't really say anything about that aspect of it. So another con that I saw that was discussed from business owners when it comes to salary transparency is that companies as a whole may be required to have less employees if they're constantly paying top dollar for every single career field choice or job description. And so if you know that you can make $100K at company A and company B has to pay $100K in order to recruit top talent or even just minimum talent, then overall, companies will be able to hire less employees in order to meet their budget restraints. So that was a con that I saw when looking into salary transparency, and I don't really see a way to get around that either. So that's definitely something that we would have to consider as the workforce, that although we're getting paid top dollar for our skill set, we may be doing more work because the company is unlikely to hire additional people because they're already paying top dollar, and they can't pay top dollar for everyone. So that may increase our workload, but it may not. So last but not least, another con that was kind of making business owners hesitant to widely adopt salary transparency is that they believe that it would cause jealousy amongst their workforce. Companies were saying that they think that the workforce will be jealous seeing that, one person may be paid slightly higher, but they don't see the background of how that person has a little bit different job duties that require a more unique skill set that is based on their education and experience background, and that is why that person is paid more. So I don't really know how to combat that because I can definitely see, and I agree that I think that the workforce could definitely be pitted against each other and have a jealous mentality if they feel like someone else who they presume is doing the same job as them and is getting paid slightly higher. So I don't think that it's an issue if someone is getting paid slightly higher. I think that the issue comes when someone is getting paid 10K, 20K, 30K higher, and you guys are doing similar jobs. It may not be exactly the same job, but your guys are doing similar jobs, performing similar duties, and are considered peers. I do think that that is an issue. But if a person is being paid slightly higher based off of their educational background or previous work experience, I definitely don't think that a slight difference in pay is a big issue. But I definitely feel like once you start hitting that 10K, 20K, 30K difference, and we have a similar job title and are performing similar duties and we're considered peers, I definitely see an issue with that. Alright you guys, so with that being said, I did look up what states in the US, of course, have adopted a salary transparency law or is on the way to adopting salary transparency for the workforce. And so Washington, California, Nevada, Maryland, Connecticut, and Rhode Island all have salary transparency legislation enacted as of 2023. And then later this year, New York and Ohio and New Jersey are going to adopt salary transparency at the end of 2023. So I kind of feel like that's a good number of states. So if you guys are located in those states, you should start seeing job advertisements have a salary range when you're looking for a new job or position. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it to you guys. What do you think? Do you think that salary transparency is here to stay? Do you think that it's a positive thing? Do you think that it's negative and that's going to impact the workforce in a negative way? So I'm very interested to see what you guys think. Please leave me a comment down below, especially if you're looking for a job in one of those states that I mentioned. I'm very interested to see if companies have started adopting that initiative, because according to Google, it says that they're required to do so. So I'll be interested to see if they're actually implementing that. So as always, thank you guys so much for supporting my channel. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.